tonight on UCentral News. With Election Day being just 1 week away, hear how this office is making the process easier for students. In social media, a fan favorite Netflix show is officially getting a spin-off. In sports, the Oklahoma City Baseball Club has a new name. Find out more with Ian Nickel. Finally, it's National Cat Day. All this and more happening right now on UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, I'm Shanice Hopkins, and we have breaking news for you tonight. A wildfire has sparked on Covell across the street from the Showbiz Theater. Firefighters have been fighting the blaze since 3 o'clock this afternoon. If you take a look behind me, you can see some of the remains of the smoke, but because it's a windy day, it should be clear soon. Not much information has been put out about the fire, but Covell and Sooner Road are closed as first responders put the fire out and discover the cause. This is a developing story, and we will have more details later.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Ramirez. Virginia is now appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court, trying again to keep hundreds of alleged non-citizens from voting. But the clock is ticking and a decision may not be made before Election Day. Madison McNamee reports.
It's crunch time in the election cycle as Attorney General Jason Miyares files a late-night emergency appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court to resume a program to remove alleged non-citizens from voter rolls.
It creates a lot of uncertainty, and so we don't want to leave anything to the last minute.
Attorney Ryan Snow representing clients who are now caught in limbo after a federal judge ruled the 1,600 people purged must be reinstated.
I've personally spoken with multiple voters who were they became citizens decades ago, and they've been voting without issue for decades.
He's encouraging them to vote now in case they run into any issues, assuring me many of them who were removed are in fact citizens.
When they obtained their driver's license, they were still not a citizen, and so the initial document that they provided to the DMV that established their legal presence what shows that they were at that time a non-citizen, but of course have since become citizens.
He says others simply checked the wrong box on a DMV form at some point. So when Governor Glenn Youngkin issued an executive order in August requiring daily checks of DMV data against voter rolls to identify non-citizens, they were removed.
You simply don't do that unless the overwhelming evidence is that someone is illegally registered and trying to vote.
Dr. Larry Sabato with UVA's Center for Politics calling it a political move by the Youngkin administration. But as the AG says in his new appeal, the quiet period provision does not apply to this. Meanwhile, the governor says he was simply upholding a state law that requires Virginia to cancel non-citizen registrations.
They should participate because their local elections, including their U.S. House races, sometimes are very, very close and are decided by just a handful of votes. Now, it's unlikely that they would decide the presidential.
Neither the governor nor the state attorney general were available to comment Monday, though in a statement, Governor Youngkin thanked AG Johnson Myers for acting so quickly on this after Friday's ruling.
It's a week before presidential election, and Americans are feeling more optimistic about the future of both the labor market and the broader U.S. economy. That's according to the Conferences Board's latest consumer survey. It says that the Consumer Confidence Index jumped in October by the fastest clip since March 2021. And the number of consumers anticipating a recession over the next 12 months dropped to its lowest level since July 2022. The increase in consumer confidence was broad-based across all age groups and most income groups. Americans say they are more upbeat over the recent stock market gains and lower interest rates.
Early voting starts tomorrow with a polling place conveniently located in North Edmond. The Multi-Activity Center next to the Mitch Park YMCA will serve as an early voting location from tomorrow through Saturday. It is located near Santa Fe on Covell. The Oklahoma County Election Board will also serve as an early polling place. Both will be open from 8 to 6 through Friday and 8 to 2 on Saturday. If you are registered in Oklahoma County, you can early vote at either of the polling locations. If you are registered in another county, you can go to the oklahoma.gov website to find your polling location.
And like I mentioned before, it's an extremely windy day. We're going to toss it to Carly with our first look at weather.
Good afternoon, Broncos. Yes, it is a very windy day Shanice. We are sitting at 84 degrees right now. We are in a wind advisory. That wind is coming up from the south at 25 miles per hour, and our gusts are up to 45. Humidity is only at a 46%, which is still a little bit high, and it only feels like 80. But talking about this wind going around the state right now, these are our wind gusts. So our metro is up to 49, and up towards the panhandle, we do have a 55-mile-an-hour wind gust. Like I said, around here in Edmond, we are at about a 45, 46 range. Still super crazy. This wind is getting out of hand. But with wind comes allergies. Our allergy index this week, as you can see, tree pollen is still very high. That wind that we have going on right now is going to blow those pollens around, and that's what's going to make you feel that grass and ragweed are still pretty low while mold spores are at a moderate level. Looking ahead, with the winds picking up, fire danger is obviously going to be our biggest concern right now. We do have a little bit of chances of rain this weekend and going into next week, chances of storms tomorrow and this afternoon, and temperatures are going to be dropping back into the 70s. That is all I have for you right now. Back to you, Shanice and Jeremy.
Free summer housing for international students living in the Commons may be no more, according to the Vista. The Commons are currently undergoing extensive renovations, so free summer housing will not be offered to students. Most of those who benefit from free summer housing are international students. International students will be prioritized for housing in other dorms. Paid summer housing options will still be offered, but it is unclear at the moment what exactly will be available. More information is planned to be released to students before winter break, but as of right now, no formal announcement has been made.
The Office of Community Engagement is helping students get fully prepared for this election season. Each election year, the office hosts UCentral, which helps provide stamps, registration packets, a variety of nonpartisan resources, including unbiased voter registration guides. Nicole Doherty, Director of Community Engagement, encourages students to vote and explains how they can ease the voting experience for students.
Kind of a one-stop shop that students can come and feel safe to ask questions and know that we're going to be, like, we've done our research of how to give them the most unbiased, nonpartisan information about processes, candidate information, what an absentee ballot is, what it means to early vote versus voting on the day of, and all of that type of information that no one really teaches anyone, that you kind of do have to go Google a lot for yourself.
With campus events, providing resources, tablings, and even delivering voter registration packets to the Capitol, community engagement is working to make voting more accessible. Students can find more updates on their Instagram at UCO_CE.
I hear we are supposed to have great weather on Halloween.
And that's awesome for our trick-or-treaters. Carly Torbett will have your full weather forecast when we come back.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead.
Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
afternoon, Broncos, and welcome back to UCentral. Looking at today's current conditions, we are in a wind advisory right now. We're sitting at about 84 degrees with that wind coming in from the south at 25 miles an hour, and our gusts are up to 45 miles per hour. Humidity sitting at a 46%, and that those winds are making it feel just a little bit cooler than what it is, so we are sitting at an 80. Looking at across the state, we do have 80s. All across the board. Metro area is going to be at an 84, while Panhandle is going to be all the way up to 86. Do have a little bit of low spot in Miami with 82. And then going into tonight, it's still going to be windy. We still are going to be experiencing those winds coming in from the south at 22 miles per hour. Gusts are going to go down to 40, but that's not much of a difference. 69 degrees. Humidity is going to bump up just a little bit with a 10% chance of rain. Going across the state, we are going to see that temperature drop just a little bit across the board. Metro area is going to be at 59, barely missing that 60 mark. Panhandle 55, while Altus is going to be our hotspot for the evening at 71. Looking at our rain forecast, we've been pretty dry recently, so we are expecting some rain like tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to see a 45% chance of rain, and then going into this weekend we have a 55% on Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday is going to be a 40%. Going into tomorrow, we are going to have those chance of those storms developing later in the afternoon, but we are still going to be looking at those 80s. Panhandle is going to still be at 70, and then Miami at 80. Metro area 81, Clinton 86. Looking at our 7-day forecast, like I said, we are seeing some chances of rain come up, and so on Wednesday we will have that 45% chance. Thursday on Halloween, it is going to be dry and cool weather, dropping back down into the 70s at 69 is the high. Later this weekend, we are looking at those rain chances at 55% for Saturday, 55% for Sunday, and back down to 40% on Monday. Jeremy and Shanice, do you have any plans for Halloween? It's going to be some great weather we're going to have.
Yes, we are 2 days away from Halloween, and I have yet to decide what I'm going to do or get a costume because I did not know what the weather was going to look like on that day. What about you?
I am so excited. We're going to have such great weather. I can't wait to hand out candy to all the little kiddos.
I plan on just staying at home with my kitty, but we're still going to pass out candy. I mean, it's going to be nice, so I'm kind of excited. Yeah. Thank you, Carly. Coming up next, find out which Netflix series is getting a spinoff.
And which musician is joining the cast of Happy Gilmore 2. Abby Avers will have your social media news when we come back.
Happy birthday! Make a wish.
Miss you guys.
Blue skies smiling at me, talking about blue skies, do I see bluebirds singing a song, talking about blue skies from now on.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Are you really sure this is all going to fit?
Oh, it'll fit. I got that.
All right. When hauling anything, ensure it's secure. Losing your load is dangerous for all drivers. We want everyone to make it home safe. Help make Oklahoma safe by securing your load.
Welcome back, Broncos. I'm Abby Avers here with all of your social media news. Musician Kid Cudi is joining the cast of Happy Gilmore 2. The singer went to his social media with the news saying, "It's been a long time dream of mine to work with Adam. He's my favorite, and his movies and comedy made up my childhood. Get ready, this one's going to be epic. Though details of his role are still unknown, Julie Bowen and Christopher McDonald will be reprising their roles as Virginia Vennet and Shooter McGavin, with Bad Bunny also joining the cast. The film will be directed by Dennis Dugan, who helmed the original. The film's release date remains unknown. Musician Tyler, the Creator, just dropped his new album Monday titled Chromacopia. This is his latest album since Call Me When You Get Lost in 2021. On release day, he shared a post on Instagram with the caption, "Tell me about it if anything stuck with you," along with the track list. He also teased his new world tour titled off his new album. The Chromacopia World Tour is set to start in February and ends in May of next year. Film director David Fincher may be eyeing an English language Squid Game spin-off as his next Netflix project. While details remain under wraps, this would be the first scripted expansion of the 2021 Korean hit series. Netflix's Squid Game remains its most watched series ever, with season 2 set to release December 26th, with a third and final season expected in 2025. The franchise has already inspired a popular reality show, Squid Game: The Challenge, and a mobile game slated for later this year. Fincher has had a long-standing partnership with Netflix since 2013, directing 4 Netflix projects so far. The Wayans brothers are returning to the Scary Movie franchise after nearly 20 years. Marlon Wayans took to social media to share the news, saying, "We're looking forward to having fun on the big screen again." The new Scary Movie will shoot next year for a theatrical release. The Wayans, alongside Rick Alvarez, are writing and producing the movie. Dancing with the Stars is back on tonight with Halloween Nightmares Night. Each dance's theme will be based on the contestant's personal nightmare, such as snakes, the boogeyman, and the dark. The competition is heating up going into week 7, and many fans are highly anticipating this episode since all of the fan favorites are left, like Olympic athletes Alona Mar and Steven Nedorozic. A fan on X shared her thoughts, saying, "I can't do this. I'm actually scared for eliminations tonight." The show returns to ABC tonight at 7 p.m. Central. Shanice, Jeremy, I am super excited about this week's episode of Dancing with the Stars. Do either of you watch the show?
I'll be honest, Abby, I need to catch up a little bit, but I do like the show. What about you, Abby?
I love Dancing with the Stars. Back to you.
Coming up, the UCO Golf wraps up their fall season.
And where did football end up in the latest polls? Ian Nickel will tell you where when we return.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the Mass Comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
UCO men's golf concluded their fall season today in the Dallas Metro at the DBU Classic, and they ended the year with a bang. The Chos were rolling deep in the heart of Texas, having both the best team and the best player. UCO outclassed the competition with a combined score of 14 over par, besting UT Tyler by 18 strokes. And the fun didn't stop there, as Jordan Wilson would go on to win the event with a score of 2 under par. Bennett Baldwin tied for second with an even score. Karsten Pagatti was fourth, and Nicholas Canales finished in eighth, wrapping up a top 10, which featured 4 Bronco golfers. The men's golf team will be back in action February 10th for the Houston Classic in H-Town. After the 1-1 week for UCO volleyball, the MIAA named UCO volleyball stud Addison Wimmer the conference's Offensive Player of the Week. The senior from UConn had a brilliant performance last week. Wimmer had a conference-leading 28 kills, including 20 kills on Saturday in the victory versus Arkansas Fort Smith. She also had a kills per set rate of 4, which was also best in the MIAA. The 21-2 Bronco volleyball team will be back in action this Friday against Central Missouri right here at Hamilton Fieldhouse. Last night, the NCAA released their first edition of 3 Division II regional rankings, and UCO made the cut. All 4 super regions in D2 football were released yesterday, but let's go ahead and discuss the Broncos super region, Super Region 3. 10 teams are in the running and are listed in alphabetical order here. Conference mates Pittsburgh State and Emporia State also appear on the list, as well as juggernauts in Harding, Grand Valley State, and Ferris State. The D2 football poll and AFCA released their latest rankings on Monday, and the Broncos took a dip. In the D2 football poll, the Broncos dropped just 3 spots to 9th, while the AFCA poll, the Chos dropped out of the top 10 and into unlucky number 13. The Broncos look to bounce back in the at St. Joseph, Missouri, against Missouri Western on Saturday. And over at Tom Thompson Field, UCO has 2 games remaining, and those games are going to play a big part in the conference standings. Currently, the Broncos are tied with Northwest Missouri for the 4th place spot in the conference. Now, why does that matter? Because in the MIAA soccer tournament, the top 4 seeds host quarterfinal games, meaning should UCO place 4th, they would host a quarterfinal game at Tom Thompson Field. Should they place 5th, the Bronze and Blue would have to go on the road again. Both teams have 2 games remaining, and we'll discuss those later in the week. And over the weekend, all 4 Edmond high schools were in action, and 3 Edmond schools, plus Deer Creek, won a combined 2-2 on Friday. Let's begin with the good news. Edmond Memorial bounced back from a brutal loss to Owasso and defeated the Westmore Jaguars 16-0. The Bulldogs are 6-2 and are second in their district, but will have to battle Broken Arrow and Tulsa Union the next 2 weeks. Now, if you're a Deer Creek fan, look away because this game was the equivalent of a nightmare on Elm Street. The Antlers dropped their 2nd straight game to the Norman Tigers 27-54. The Deer Creek Antlers are 6-2 and are 4th in their district. Back to the good news, Edmond North snapped a 6-game losing streak, defeating the Enid Plainsmen in a sluggish 14-7. Sorry, Mom and Maria. The Huskies are 2-6 overall and battle Moore and Jinx at home to end the season. And finally, the Wolves put up a valiant effort against undefeated Owasso, but lost a heartbreaker 31-27. Santa Fe will host UConn for senior night this Friday. And finally, over the weekend, the Oklahoma City Baseball Club finally announced their new name, and I got to tell you, it's out of this world. Yes, the AAA ball club in Oklahoma City will be called the Oklahoma City Comets, a nod to the legendary Oklahoma native Mickey Mantle, who was called the Commerce Comet. The Comets also announced their new manager will be Scott Hennessy. Hennessy comes to the 405 after 7 seasons as manager of the AA Tulsa Drillers. With the Drillers, Hennessy won 455 games, the 2nd most all-time as manager of the Drillers, and won the Texas League Championship in 2018, which was their first league championship in 20 years. The Drillers will announce their new manager later in the winter. Now, Jeremy and Shanice, do you guys like the name change to the Comets, or do you wish they were something else?
Now, Ian, I am a die-hard Astros fan, but I have to give it to him. The Comets is a pretty cool name. How do you feel about the change?
I think it's a good name. I know people were wishing for the 89ers or the Flycatchers, but I think Comets is a very solid name.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I like the change. I think it's pretty cool. Thank you, Ian. Coming up today is National Cat Day. How are you going to celebrate our furry friends?
And Carly Torben will have your last look at weather after the break.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
much difference can one vote make? Since 2023, more than 60 U.S. elections have been tied or won by just one vote. So this fall, you or a friend could be the tiebreaker. And that could make all the difference. People are more likely to vote when encouraged by a friend. So use your power to decide this election. Make sure you're good to vote and encourage your friends to make a voting plan at votevotevote.com.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Welcome back, Broncos. We're going to toss it to Carly for our last look at weather.
Thank you, Shanice and Jeremy. Looking at our hourly forecast, we are sitting at about 5 o'clock right now, still super windy, sitting at 83 degrees. Going into 6 p.m., it is still going to be windy, going to hit that sunset about 6:45, going down to 81 degrees, then around 7 whenever we will finally see that sun going down. We are going to still be windy, sitting at 79 degrees. And that is all I have for you today. Throwing it back to you, Shanice and Jeremy.
Thank you, Carly. Now we have a surprise. Today is a special day as we celebrate our UCentral anchor, Jeremy Ramirez's birthday today, and we have created a special message for you today.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. I'm so lucky to have you as my co-anchor on Tuesday. Wouldn't have asked for anybody better.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. I hope it's a great one. You deserve the world. Have a great day.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. I hope you had a great day. We love you.
Happy birthday, Jeremy.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. You are one of the best anchors that I know, and you have made so much progress this year. I'm super glad I met you, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. I am so glad I got to know you this semester, and you are an amazing person, and I really hope you have a great day.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. Thank you so much for everything you do. We really appreciate it. Don't know what we could do without you, and 35 never looks better.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. From all of us here at UCentral, we thank you so much for how much work you put in, and we just hope you have a wonderful day and a great birthday in general.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. Thank you for all that you do here at UCentral. I know, are we allowed to say your age? Because you don't look like you're 35. You look like you're 24. So keep up the good work and give me that anti-aging method you got going on, because I look like I'm 35 too.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. You don't look a day over 23.
So happy birthday, Jeremy. We hope you have a good day. I'm so glad to have you as my co-anchor.
I am speechless. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yes, of course. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching this edition of UCentral News.